Well, welcome. We are here at Learning Online at no cost to you. We have 4 different resources today that is going to direct you to experts in the field, to be able to learn about computers, different programs, languages, business applications, also languages, and even if you just need to brush up on those core skills with using a computer, we've got resources that can kind of meet you wherever you are in your learning path. So we're going to get started, and our starting point for looking at each of these resources is going to be at our library's website, so marionlibrary.org. And we're going to be specifically in the Find Information menu. And here, I have 2 different ways I can navigate. If I know the name of the resources that I'm going after, I can use the alphabet links at the top. But if I don't, then we have the categories on the right. So where most of our online resources fall are here in the jobs and continuing education. So once we're in this category, it reduces down our list to just those resources. And the one that I'm going to start with for today is called Learning Express. Learning Express is great for whenever you need to take one of those tests that sometimes we dread, the SAT, the ACT, if we are going after our GED, if we're going into particular fields that require certification or require you to pass a test. For example, air flight control. People, they need to pass tests, or firefighters or paramedics. It has all of these tests in here to allow you to practice before you go and take the actual exam. So this is provided by Ohio Means Jobs, and I have 2 ways that I can access this. I can choose to create a profile, it can be nice to do that because it'll keep track of your learning. And so if you get partway through a practice exam and you need to come back to it later, you can save it, you can log in, you can pick up right back where you are. Or I can go in as a guest. So just for our demonstration purposes, I'm going to go in here as a guest. And once this loads, I have access to, like I said, a wide variety of resources. Like I said, it provided those example tests, but it also provides materials that you can study for those tests as well within here. I like this All Assessments menu up here because, again, it can give me an idea of what kind of things I can practice here. So I'm going to go ahead into the career test prep category because I found this air traffic controller testing to be rather interesting. And so, like I said, it does have that means, it does have material that I can study to help me prepare for these tests right within here. And then I've got all this here. And then, like I said, it has those practice tests as well. So just so you can see what this looks like, we're going to go ahead and take, this is the air traffic scenarios test. And you have 3 different ways that you can take this test in here. You can take it as if you were actually taking the test. That's the simulation mode. So once the timer goes off, it's done. And you'll see how far you are going to get in that amount of time. You can take it as a practice, which will show you the timer, but it's not going to actually hold you to it. You'll be able to continue on even if the timer runs out for you. And then I'm going to go in as the learner mode. So this one is, you're just starting out. It will show you all the practice questions and then also give you the chance to review them right here. So again, this is kind of interesting. So this is a control that they would see, and it has the different airplanes marked here with these like M3As and things like this. I'm just going to go through a couple of different questions here. So which aircraft should change its heading to about 5? The heading is up here in this area, so it's something that's going to be heading this direction. And because I was looking at this earlier, the answer is the F4D because it needs to exit out of D, so we need to change the direction in which it's heading. I promise I won't do too many of these. So I'll select that, and once I pick this answer, I can actually check it and see, indeed, yes, that's what's going to be happening. So again, if somebody wants to be a firefighter, EMS, they've got these cosmetology, they've got these practice tests out here for them. If you have a high schooler in your life, they have the SAT, ACT, that they can come out here and do the practice exams as well. Even if you have somebody in grade school, they have the core competency test practice exams out there. You know, if somebody is apprehensive about that, it'll give you a chance for them to practice and maybe be a little less apprehensive about it. So again, this is an example. And this is also nice, so I focused really on the education and the career, but it also has the some core skills too. So if you're having to do business writing in your job, in which you haven't had to do that before, it even has math skills. So if you go into I'm now forgetting. Yes, and there's like time management and again, focusing on career aspects are all in here. So this one I found interesting. So even if you just need to brush up on your basic math skills, that is in here as well. They have grammar that's in here as well. So again, anything that's education, career related is in here. So questions about this one. I don't know if you noticed before, it has some basic computer skills in here too. These are a little bit dated, the graphics for them, so I have some other resources that are actually better. But again, I just in case you happen to notice that those were in there. All right, so that's one that covers test, education, career purposes with some other skills thrown in there. The next one I'm going to go to focuses strictly on computer skills and improving those. And again, it's aiming at the, you might be completely unfamiliar with computers for certain ones of these. So it'll describe how to work a mouse in some of these. But it also has, you know, different operating systems and a variety of software applications, mostly related to Microsoft Word in here. So once again, my path is going to be the MarionLibrary.org and then find information. And I'm going to that category of jobs and continuing education. And I'm coming to the computer and skills training. This is from the Goodwill Community Foundation. And like I said, it has, again, its focus is a little bit career related as well. So it does have some reading and basic math skills that are in there. I'm interested in this technology because like I said, I think this does it better. It's a little more up to date than the Learning Express. So if you are, for example, interested in Excel 2016 or even just the generic, I don't know what version you have, but these have the Excel tutorials out here. And so it gives you a very nice outline. Oh, this looks like it might be the one with 365 since it has OneDrive. Let me go back to the Excel 2016. So these are set up that you have a nice outline that you're able to work your way through. And it goes from, you know, basic information getting started, but if you already know like how to open it up and how to get started, you might skip over the first couple and then pick up later on. If I can get this to open, maybe.
I see what you said is dated 2016. It's like, wow, that's...
Well, that's the version of it.
Yeah.
So 2016, I think there might be a 2019, and then they switched to Office 365. So there's still a number of places that are running Office 2016. So if you happen to be in a work environment that's still running this, then this is very much relevant. Now, what would be really old is if they had like the 2010 or something way earlier than that. Yeah, and I didn't, oh here, it got started. So basically you're gonna be going through, and if you're like, all right, I already know how to get it open, I'm interested in creating new workbooks. So it has the video here for you, but it also does an outline that you can go through and follow the step by step, so that you can learn how to get these open and create the workbooks and everything like that. And like I said, you're able to go through, and they keep their videos on the shorter side.
Creating opportunities for better.
So that I'm not talking over that. They're not doing the lengthy hour videos with these. They're, they're taking a skill and focusing on that and then moving you along in their outline. And again, it goes through this one. You've got, and again, it's progressively more detailed, and the skills are increased for each one. So they start out basic, get you started, and then build upon that. And this one, you've got 33 of the tutorials you go through, and then they do test your knowledge at the end and make sure that you have learned what they were teaching you. So that's the basic format of this. It is really the tutorials and the step-by-step that you can go through if you need to learn a particular application. Again, and it's also geared towards, because it has the email basics, understanding the different, what is a browser and what are those, and the basic computer skills, online safety, and like I said, it did have the operating system, so it does cover a variety of Windows. It does not yet have Windows 11 out there, but again, you're going to find quite a few places that are still running Windows 10, or even potentially a little bit earlier. I do have another one that you can go to for some Windows 11 tutorials if you need them. The other thing that I found nice in here was that they do cover some Mac basics in here. So if your work environment is suddenly switching to Macs, or you've switched jobs and they use Macs versus Windows, again, this is a place you can come to be able to familiarize yourself with that operating system if you're used to Windows. So questions about what you can find here. And again, the other ones are, again, there's the reading and math, but it's all the same kind of setup. You get a tutorial and the written outline of it from there. So, questions about that one? All right. So our third one, we're once again going from the MarionLibrary.org. We're going to go to the Find Information, and we're going to be in our Jobs and Continuing Education category again. And this time, I'm going for LinkedIn Learning. So the other two, you could be anywhere you want to be, and you can sign into those. It doesn't matter, here in the library, you don't even need a library card for it. You can get access to those. LinkedIn Learning, it's another one where you can access it from anywhere, but it's always going to be prompting you for your library card, because it is personalized to you and what you would like to learn. And in the broadest sense, they're covering business, technology, and a category that they call creative. So where like the photography falls in, and then the graphic design and those kinds of things. So you're always going to come to this welcome screen. So you're going to say get started.
So I need to get a library card.
Yeah, and we can help you with that.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. You will need a library card to get into this one.
Okay.
So the first time that you log into this, it's actually going to ask you a series of questions. It's going to ask you, what are you interested in learning in? It's going to have you pick some skills. It's going to ask you if you want to set a learning goal. You don't have to right away, but if you're like, I want to make sure that I'm doing this 20 minutes every day, you can set that as a goal, and it'll keep track of it for you. So once I've already clearly have done those initial questions, so you will answer those initial questions, and it sets it up so that this screen is customized to you. So what my screen looks like as far as what videos it's saying are my top picks, that's based upon my selections. Because of your skills that you follow, those videos that they're promoting here are based upon my selections. So what videos are there might be a little bit different, but the same categories are there. Again, very customized to me. It also, again, because I'm signed in, if I'm midway through watching a course, it's gonna say come over here and in progress, and so I'll be able to very quickly and easily pick back up with that course that I was watching. It also comes up, so this was formerly called lynda.com. You might have heard that. When they made the transition, there was a number of things that they upgraded, and one of the things that they did was it's now in 7 languages. So if one of those languages is your native language, it's possible that you will find videos that you can watch in there and watch in your native language, and you won't have to do that. All right, it's in English, so now I need to translate it back to my native language so it makes sense to me, and then, I've heard from individuals that they do some translating in their head back to their native language because that's what they're used to learning in. So it'll kind of save that step for people. So like I said, I picked a Spanish one, and I was able to test it out, and indeed it was in that language and everything like that. I didn't set a weekly goal, but like I said, if you're a goal-oriented individual, this is set up so that you can make that happen, whatever it might be. Once you've selected your initial categories, you are not just limited to those. So if I come up here under Browse, I will see the full catalog, if you will, of everything that they offer. So there's, like I said, they're big categories: business, creative, technology. So, helps with anything from marketing, career development, data analysis, etc. And like I said, there's photography, there's audio, video, and all kinds of those creative type. Here's where you will find
graphic design.
Yeah, it should be within here. Where am I? There, yeah. So it has a whole large category. And what's nice, I'll go into there as an example, they usually start off with some introduction to the topic in some way. And so there is become a graphic designer that is a full learning path, and an introduction to graphic design. So that just initial learn what that is, and see what kind of skills are needed and what's involved in that. You can learn from there. And if I didn't already mention it, LinkedIn Learning, all of these courses are done by experts. So it is somebody in the field that is actually teaching us, which I think is a really nice aspect of it. The other thing that I think is nice is, you can go out to YouTube and you can search graphic design, and then you yourself have to read through, okay, who is really the expert and who isn't. And it's of course not organized in any way, shape, or form, but this, again, you're getting experts, it's nicely organized for you. It saves your progress, so again, it has some advantages over just going out and searching for it on YouTube. So this, when I'm looking through my list, I can save videos or tutorials. So for example, I can start watching this, and again, it is just so you can see the screen.
At its core, graphic design is really combining words.
So it shows me, again, you have a video that you're going to be watching. You have access to a transcript as well. And like I said, it'll save your progress throughout. Some of the videos will as you're going through and actually learning the skills, they also break it into chunks, and then they'll do a little quiz for you as well to test what you've learned, which is a nice feature of it. So, one more thing I want to point out in here is, so I went home back to my original screen. This My Learning, this is the big area to really see what my history is, where I am, what I'm in progress, what I've saved. I can access all of that content here. I thought this was interesting. And again, even if you're not thinking for professional reasons that you want to come out here, they do have these topics like this. I mean, so many people are using their phone to take pictures, and so they've got this course that gives you some foundation, some ways that you can improve those pictures that you're taking. Again, just a variety of topics in here. So if I have completed this particular course, so I went in underneath my learning history, and let's say this is for your job, you can come here and download a certificate. Now it's because with the changeover from lynda.com to LinkedIn Learning, they have taken away any personal identifying information. So the certificate you're gonna get is not gonna have your name on it, but it is gonna be proof that you have done this. I mean, it's basically an honor system. It's saying that yes, indeed, I sat down for the 16 minutes and I watched this video, and here's my proof of it. Again, if your work is asking for some sort of verification, you can get their certificate from them. So this is something, so LinkedIn, might sound familiar to you, and that's because they are a website where you can go and do job searches on, and they also let you essentially put up a resume. One of the other changes with the switch from lynda.com to LinkedIn Learning is that the easy method of uploading those certificates to your LinkedIn profile has gone away, but they still have a way that you can do an ad and put in your certificates. So you could, again, not just to your workplace, but to the broader world as well. If you happen to be job hunting, you can put those certificates in there, indicating that you've done this kind of training as well. So LinkedIn Learning, it's a fun one. You can kind of get lost in there and go down a rabbit hole and, again, learn all kinds of stuff. So I mentioned before that our computer and skills training didn't have Windows 11 in it. So here's the other way that we can go and find videos, tutorials to learn from, is the search at the top. So here's some, again, if you're in work environment, or if you've upgraded your personal computer to Windows 11, here's some tutorials out there that can help you familiarize yourself with it.
So this one is what? Is this the library one?
This is LinkedIn Learning.
LinkedIn Learning?
Yep. And it is one that you're going to need your library card for.
Okay.
So any other questions about this one? All right, so on to language next. And again, I know I've said it several times, but hopefully at this point we're starting at themarylibrary.org. I'm going into find information. And this time, my category is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to language learning because I'm looking for transparent language. So this resource, it is another one that is going to, you can continue as a guest for it, but again, it's not going to be saving your progress at all. You can sign up separately, and I've already gone through and did the sign up. You can create an account with them. Since I have created my account, let me go ahead and sign in.
Now you're saying it saves it, but where does it save it to, like the cloud?
Yes,
Okay.
it's on their servers.
Not
It's
your
where
computer. Okay.
progress is being saved. Yep.
Okay.
So like I said, because I've already been in here, it's showing you where I have been and what I have done. So today I did a basic introduction to Italian, just a few 5 words I learned. And so I can be learning multiple languages at the same time. And in fact, my initial sign-in, it's gonna have me pick one language to say this is the one I'm interested in learning. But here in the very top bar, it lets me switch between, I have Italian out here and I also have Spanish. And you can see kind of where I am in each one of those paths. I'm gonna go ahead back to Italian. So, I've already done, it's showing me that I've learned 5 vocabulary words today. It's given me a variety of practices that I can choose from, but they also have these really nice learning paths. So again, basically they're starting out with a skill level and then continuing to build upon that. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick a learning path for this. So I'm gonna go ahead and browse. What is nice about this, so I did the welcome lesson already. I can go and learn about the alphabet, the essentials, and again, one of those things that I've heard different tactics for whenever people are learning languages. Anything from one person would go out on a server like Discord where they could chat with multiple people, and whatever language they wanted to learn, they would start a conversation with one person, and then they would reply back, and they'd be like, oh, okay, and they'd take that reply, and they'd start another conversation with another person, and put that answer in there, and they would get a reply back, and that's how he picked up languages, was just by having these different conversations with people. And yet other people are, I need to know the vocabulary, absolutely need to know the vocabulary before I can do anything else. So how we learn language can vary. So if we need to learn a lot about vocabulary, then we can start with those learning paths, right? There's also some in here, this is one I'm gonna pick, these essentials. So if you're gonna be traveling to to a different country that speaks a language other than English, this learning path, and I'm gonna go ahead and add it. And once I've added that learning path, I can come back to learning, and it is going to help me get those basic words, directions, how to say hello, how to say thank you. Bathroom, yes, the essentials, truly the essentials.
Yeah.
Where can I go to the bathroom? Some financial information.
What am I eating?
Yes, where you can find food and beverages, like all those kinds of things. This can help you get that vocabulary so that you're not, floundering whenever you're visiting that country. Plus, it's just always nice that, no matter where you're visiting, if you can say hello and thank you at the bare minimum in their language, that's always a good thing. So these lessons, they show this in a variety of ways. So sometimes it's just, I have my.
Il giorno.
You get to hear it,
Buongiorno.
right? So here's
Il giorno.
another one that's matching this in a different way. It gives you the opportunity. Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Il giorno.
El giorno. Again, it gives you that opportunity to practice speaking it.
And I see it rates you.
Yes, it does. It tells me. So I took Spanish in high school and a couple semesters in college, and teachers, I always shocked them at how badly I mispronounced things, because I had one that was just like, it's amazing to me because you know the words, like you can read it beautifully, you can understand what people are saying, she's like, man, do we have to work on your pronunciation. So anytime that I'm in here and I get it up on this end, I'm ecstatic.
There are a lot of languages apparently very similar. I took Spanish and I didn't realize how close the Italian is. And Portuguese is too, but they said the problem is people can read it, they can write it, but they have trouble speaking it too.
It's the subtle differences and you know how you practice. So E and I in Italian, so similar. I mean, it's so subtle, the difference between the two of them. I'll do a few other examples in here.
Il giorno.
I don't remember what it was.
What?
El giorno. I don't
It
remember.
was day, was it good morning, or was it day?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
you're right.
Okay.
Yeah, so again, it goes through and it just has a variety of ways that it's going to let you practice this, to learn this language. So you are reading, you're speaking, you're listening to it, you're writing. So it's kind of fun. I kind of like going in here every once in a while and just playing around with it. I failed to mention, so this has a mobile app version of it. So if you want to do this on your phone or your tablet, can be done. The LinkedIn Learning also has a mobile version of it as well. So that one, it's a little bit trickier to get set up, the LinkedIn Learning. You have to know, because it is tied to the library in your library card, to get the LinkedIn Learning set up, you need to know which library you are, and we're the OH0132. It's going to ask you for that information.
012?
Yeah, so lowercase OH0132.
132.
Yeah.
Miss that 3.
Yeah, and it's important.
Okay.
So yeah, so there's mobile versions of both of those that you can use if if you've got a tablet that you want to do this on, or your phone.
So if we go to Italy, we can log into the Marian Library app and we've got our communication.
Right, absolutely. You can pick out the words that you and your vocabulary for. And again, it's rather nice because you continue to build. It teaches you the vocabulary, you get a chance to practice, and it just builds upon that. This, keeps track of that vocabulary that you have learned, and so if there's a certain amount of time has passed since you've learned that word, it'll go in and have you refresh. It just goes through and make sure that you still remember what that word means. Again, it's really set up to help you learn the language as best as it possibly can. Again, with the different ways that you can practice, and again, it's kind of little nudges of, hey, it's been a while since you've looked at these vocabulary words. So yeah, I will stop going on about transparent language. Any questions from you guys? Anything that you were thinking, oh, it would be interesting if I could learn this, or anything you'd like to see again about accessing?
Oh, wow.
So this has over 100 languages in it, and it's also helpful for people who are learning English. So if somebody is in an English-speaking country and they're trying to learn that language, they can also use this to learn that as well. So yeah, that has a couple different uses for it. Don't hesitate now when you go back and are looking at, hey, that resource was going to be of use to me. If you have any questions or issues with using it, feel free to contact us here. Like I said, my name is Megan. You're always welcome to ask directly from me, or anyone of the staff should be able to help you get started as well. So yeah, don't hesitate to ask if you need help with anything. There are 4 different resources where you can learn a variety of things online at no cost to you. There is the Learning Express, essentially helping you with tests that are related to education and your career. There's the computer and skills training from Goodwill that can help you really brush up on your computer skills. If you're unfamiliar with computers, really help you get started. We have LinkedIn Learning, which again is another one that will actually require your library card, and again it just has a whole host of expert-led videos in the broad categories of business, creative, and technology. And then lastly, we looked at transparent language, and again that has over 100 languages for you to learn, whether it's for your next trip or just because you want to learn how to speak with family, or just because you're interested. So I hope those can help you on your learning journey, and we'll see you next time.